What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We are in episode 7-4. 7-4 to the world blow. We got any players?
I ain't seeing it, man. We probably won't see another one until we hit some wide receivers, man. Maybe in the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Well, man, my name's Jared. Denzel's my co-host, man. Episode 74 belongs to us. It's the Vernon's episode once again. Hey, man, what will you be smoking on today?
Okay. Well, I'm going with one of my picks from last week. One of my pickups from last week. So I decided to go with the Joya de Nicaragua, the silver.
Joya de Nicaragua, silver.
Yeah. So I'm going with the silver. I know you've smoked Joya on the show before, right?
Mm-hmm. I have.
You had Joya, and I don't think I've smoked a lot of Joya. Maybe one in my whole time of smoking cigars. So I decided to take my chance at smoking this one. I mean, the band looked kind of like Christmassy, and we get into the Christmas spirit. You know what I'm saying? So silver bells, silver cigars. Let's do it. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Joya has to offer. It's something I don't explore a lot of. So I do want to see what Joya can give me today. All right, so give you a quick rundown. Wrapper Ecuadorian, binder Mexican San Andreas, filler Nicaraguan. So we got a mixed bag here. Mixed bag with Joya.
Okay. Let's go over what I got. I have a Trinidad Espirtu series number 3. Come on, man. Look good. Come on. Never mind. So anyway, this stick right here, I don't have the specs on it. But what I did find out was you can't get away from this guy, man. I found out you can't get away from this guy. So Rafael Nodal has partnered with AJ Fernandez. So technically, AJ Fernandez got his fingers all in this stick right here. And I was not trying to go that route, but that's who they partner with to do this one. So this is a collab with AJ.
Hey man, so I am going to crown AJ Fernandez the pillar. AJ, you are the pillar. Until further notice, AJ Fernandez, you are the pillar of the cigar culture.
Man. Cheers to AJ, man. Hey, look, man. AJ quietly put his stamp in there. People, AJ, who you go to on the low when you're trying to get right? You trying to get right. You go get that feature. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is, man. So shout out to AJ, man. He is the pillar, man. But no specs on this stick, so we're gonna wing it, man. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
You know what? Trinidad is. I really like what you're doing. I talked about it last episode. I really like what you're doing. I really like you bringing these sticks to the forefront to the episodes. Because Trinidad is something I've always seen. And believe it or not, I have a Trinidad in my humidor. And that Trinidad sat in my humidor for about 5 years. To the point that it's okay, all right. So I'm going to tell him myself. Because I was talking to my daughter this morning. She was asking me,
drop it, it'll go
crumble. And she was like, "How many cigars do you feel like you've ever had?" And I said, "It's got to be close to 1,000 by this point." But hold on, the first question she asked me was, "How many cigars do I have at home?" Because I'm like, "Oh, you gotta get a cigar. You're doing the cigar. You're doing your podcast today, right?" And I was like, "No, I got a couple at home." And she asked me how many I have at home. I said, I got about 4. She's like, no, you got way more than 4. You got way more than 4. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Because I got a humidor full of cigars that's been sitting there, not taken care of, not been doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and just falling apart. They're probably really brittle. If I picked them up, they probably would fall apart. So I got to tell them myself. I'm doing it again. I'm telling them myself. I'm being transparent and vulnerable right now, man.
Those cigars are supposed to be at home, being treated like pets and family, but instead they're in prison, in your possession.
In prison, in my possession. Because you can't keep cigars on hand for several years if you take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Trinidad is one of the cigars I picked up years ago. Set in the Humidor. It's been with a few of the other ones. Cause I got 3 shelves. Okay, so I have 3 shelves in this one particular Humidor, and the ones I smoke frequently, I always keep them at the top because I know they're gonna be my quick grabs. Then I have a shelf at the bottom that I just never go to. And that's the problem. I need to rotate my cigars better. I need to go ahead and put my cigars in a better position. And then once it got to a point to where like I know I'm not taking any care of these cigars down here, I just let it go. I just kept them there, never done anything with it, never try to recover them, and it's just years gone by, and it's been what it was. So, sorry, Trinidad, for you being one of those sticks that I got in the basement of my Humidor.
You know what it is, right?
What's that?
No, you always talk about labels and brands and stuff, and if you just take the logo off, it's just as good as some of the other stuff. Trinidad fell victim to that. They just didn't have the logo that caught your attention because you were in all these brands and names and stuff. The Rockies was jumping out at you, and the Cohibas, and the Romeo y Julieta.
And the Romeo.
Itself. And you just didn't give them a shot, man. You know, they were less exciting.
Yeah. I have a Grand Habano that's down there. I got a Gurkha that's down there. I got a Trinidad that's down there.
Yeah, I got a
couple other ones.
My stash too. It just ain't gonna get smoked. It's from years ago too. It's old. It's the same way. I took that Gurkha just like that.
And here's the thing. Like I feel like Trinidad. It's not that it's not a sexy name. You know, if I see something to say Trinidad, it should catch my eye. You know, to say, hey, look, Trinidad. What kind of tobacco are we talking about here? It does sound like it should be intriguing, but it just never garnered the same kind of attention that a lot of the other names have garnered. That, like you said, if I get a Rocky, it's probably gonna go to that top shelf, and it's probably gonna get rotated and smoked pretty quickly. I get a Davidoff, it's going to that top shelf. You know, I get a Liga, my father's, it's going to that top shelf. An Oliva is going to that top shelf. And I'm just never working myself down to the basement and go and grab those lesser names. Yeah. You know?
Well, so hey man, you know, we having the conversation, which means you'll probably have to shift at some point in time with some of those names.
No, I will
go to the bottom of your Humidor.
I will. And I mean, so what I will do is I will start to go through my Humidor and find out what's good, what's not, what can be salvaged, what can't be salvaged, and start to rotate and start to pay closer attention to what I have in my stashes, and not always lean to the hot name, the hotness or the new hotness. Even though Rocky got a couple new sticks that I do want to try. You know,
don't he always?
Can't just say what? Don't he always?
Don't he always?
always. And I'm pretty sure after the new year, he's going to have something to commemorate 2024 too. It's like, all right, we got a reason to drop another one. Let's drop it.
He already got it in the stash, man. He just ain't found a name for it yet.
It's in the tuck.
Rocky boy.
So, I'm going to get to it. So that's what I'm saying. I appreciate what you're doing. Bringing light to these lesser known names, lesser smoked cigars, and even putting the heat on me as your co-host. So I'm hoping it's doing the same for those who are out there in the cigar world who are watching us, seeing us smoke these cigars with these names and saying, you know what? Let's pay more attention to them. Let's do right by them. Let's do right by these guys who are putting in work, especially when you know they're going to the pillar. If they're going to the pillar, they trying to get right. So, hey, Trinidad, you're leaning on the pillar. You went to AJ, so that just tells me what kind of cigar culture mindset that you have. So you deserve more. You deserve better from a guy like me.
Yeah, and the more bigger players we can have in this game, the better for us as the aficionados, man. Because truth be told, we don't want it to become a monopoly. You know,
right,
so we need more creative minds, more variety, more people doing different blends and giving us some different flavors and textures that we haven't experienced before, man. It's just, and Trinidad right now, shout out to Trinidad and AJ, because this thing is sexy right off the bat. Not gonna lie to you, I can't hold you, bro. This is off to a good start. You know what I'm saying? It's got a nice little dark chocolate thing going about it. And a very, very creamy smoke with a little bit of spice on the retro hell, but it's done so perfectly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, all right. I like where we at. We off to the races. Like I always say, I can get an idea where a stick is headed initially as soon as I get started. You know what I'm saying? And right now, off the first couple of draws, I'm like, okay, we headed off to the races in the right way. You know, so
shout out.
That's my initial thoughts. Hey, man, as you see, I got Black Santa going here, man. So, look, let me ask you a question because we close to the holiday season. You know what I mean?
Okay.
What, for you personally, are some songs that when you start hearing them, you say it's that season. You start getting in the mood. You start wanting to get your eggnog and your apple cider going. You know what I mean? Like, what's those songs for you?
Okay, so for me, number one, got to go this Christmas with Donny Hathaway. The Donny Hathaway version. I don't know about no Chris Brown version or nobody else who ever tries to, you know. I think the Whispers got a version too.
All time, greatest of all time, Christmas song. Donny Hathaway, This Christmas. For me, that's number one.
You gotta get that one to me. That is the Christmas song for me. That is the Christmas song.
There's only one other song I'll put in order. Then everything else, you just mix it up in the pile and just throw it out there.
Okay.
But there is a number two for me, personally.
Then you gotta throw some Temptations in there.
Mm-hmm.
Got those some Temptations. You know what I'm saying?
Silent Night. What's the other one? What's the other big one they got? I
know they did a whole joint. But Silent Night is the one. They got another one. They got another one that I like to play a lot.
I can't think of.
But Silent Night, Temptations, of course. Then the Whispers, man. The Whispers got a couple joints. Who else got some? I'm not gonna. The popular choice for a lot of other people might be Mariah Carey, but that's not it for me. Mariah Carey don't make my list. I can appreciate it.
You still ain't named my number two yet.
I ain't named your number two? You talking Mike? We talking about Jackson 5 or Jacksons or whatever?
Nah, Mike. None of the five they not my top. That's not my number two.
Okay.
It's my dog Nat.
Who?
Nat King Cole, the Christmas song. That's number two.
Oh yeah.
So
Christmas
for me,
song.
it's this Christmas, Donny Hathaway, the Christmas song, Nat King Cole. Then everything else falls underneath that from there. You know what I mean? Like
there we go. And unpopular.
But Jackson 5 is up there. See Mama Kissing Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Grew up on those, man. Like grew up on those. But I'm gonna do this though, man. And a lot of people ain't gonna like it. But every year, since he been dropping Christmas joints, I play some KOs on Christmas, man. I do it. I'll be stepping on Christmas, man. I put it on. It makes my rotation. It's matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, so what I do when it's around Christmas time, whether we setting the tree up or we doing the gifts or whatever, I'll break it off with this Christmas. Then I go into some Temptations or some who is it? Freddie Jackson. I think Freddie Jackson got some Christmas joints. Hit you with some Whispers real quick. I'm in that cloth. Then I might ease in with some PJ Moore, and PJ Moore got a nice little Christmas joint that he did. And then after everything is good to go, everybody's settled in. We done got, you know what I'm saying, got good and going. I'm throwing on that Kels, man, that Christmas stepping. I'm doing it.
Yeah. I'm also while we running them off, you said no Mariah, and I'm with you on that, no Mariah. But I will go to something from that time frame, though, man. The Boys to Men, Brian McKnight.
Oh, Let It Snow.
Let It Snow. Let It Snow.
You got to get that one. You got to get that one.
Yeah, they killed that one. That's a classic at this point in time. I'm gonna go with some non-traditional songs. Anything off that Peanuts album, you know what I'm saying? I make me feel like Christmas time when I hear them Peanuts songs, man. That was a great jazz album for those that don't give it no credit.
My bad. I should have said that one off the rip, though, man.
Yeah.
I should have said that should have been like top 3 for because I love it, man. It's that mood, man.
Yeah,
it's that mood.
Great jazz music, man. And
Vince Vivaldi. Shout out to Vince Vivaldi.
Vince didn't even feel like he was a great jazz artist either. That's the funny thing about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think he made a classic in the process, though.
And honestly, when you think about it, because like if you go through like YouTube or Spotify and look at these playlists, a lot of these playlists they'll give you some Christmas jazz, wintertime jazz, and I honestly think or would like to credit it to the Peanuts joint, because you hear the Peanuts joint and the jazz, and that puts you in that Christmas mindset, that Christmas give you Christmas feels. I think it set the precedent for a lot of people to follow that, to say, hey, this is the sound of that of background Christmas music.
Yeah,
it's that wintertime jazz.
100%. I agree. I agree with that thought process, man. And while we at it, if you ever hear "You're a Mean One, Mister," that Grinch, that puts you in the mood a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? And man, that's some of the older joints. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think, I know Bing Crosby's like the man when it comes to that, but I don't think of White Christmas or nothing like that when I think Christmas. But I know it's a great selling song.
It's there. It's there. Yeah.
But it's there. But I like Have Yourself a Merry Christmas. You know what I'm saying? A Merry Little Christmas. That's one of the ones also, when you
Chestnuts roasted on an open fire. I played the Tony Braxton version. But let me ask you this though, since
Santa Baby and stuff like it's a vibe. It's a little vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I like little ones like that. There's a Hawaiian version. You know the Hawaiian song?
I've never heard a Hawaiian version before.
Malika Wah or some mess. I don't know.
Nah, I ain't never heard that. I know the Feliz Navidad, the Hispanic joint.
I kind of get with Feliz Navidad.
You got to get with that.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna have to see.
But let me ask you this though,
Hawaiian joint.
Man. Send that to me. Man. I got to check that out. Yeah. But okay, so we know in the 90s, making Christmas albums actually became a thing. JD and So Def did it. Mariah Carey had her thing, and Luther Vandross and Freddie Jackson's and all these guys were dropping. It was a thing to do the Christmas joints, and they killed them. Now we come into the 2000s, and I know some artists have done Christmas joints. Music Soul Child, he's done a Christmas joint. Bryson Tiller, if I'm not mistaken, did a Christmas joint too. R. Kelly had a whole Christmas album, 12 Nights of Christmas. But do you think doing Christmas songs, can anybody create a classic, a new classic?
Yeah, they could, but ain't nobody gonna do it because everybody too swagged out for it. And like we're in the era where everybody's too cool to do anything deemed as corny. So we're in a stage where a lot of people don't even celebrate the anti-Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, so it's gonna be hard to get people to do stuff like that. You can't even get people in the dunk contest no more, let alone to think it's cool to do a Christmas album. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But how can you not think it's cool to do a Christmas album? So many of the cool people back in the day did Christmas albums. Yeah, it was the thing to do. I gotta create my
challenge too, but don't nobody do it no more. Like
Kobe, MJ, the quintessentials of the league, they did dunk contests, and
it's mandatory to get one under your belt, or at least a 3-point shootout. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like now they don't want to do none of this.
Vince Carter, how do I leave Vince Carter out? You know what I mean? But I mean, at the same, and the cool thing is, it's your shot. Spud Webb ticket, D Brown. You know what I'm saying? Some of those lesser known players, but not superstar players, took their moment to shine.
Right beneath that.
How can you not think that Christmas is cool, man? You know what I mean?
If Christmas
is a vibe,
cool, what holiday is cool? You know what it's Halloween starting to get a big push to be cool. Like it's becoming the second holiday somehow. And I don't remember Halloween ever overthrowing Thanksgiving until recently. Yeah. So,
bro, like when we went from Halloween, the day after Halloween, it was Christmas. It was Christmas.
Yeah.
My neighborhood, everything was Christmas out. Everybody took down their Halloween decoration. Everything was decked out Christmas. I'm like, we just gonna forget the turkeys? We're just gonna do that?
It's a push for. It goes to this whole woke thing where people are getting rid of Christmas and they get rid of Thanksgiving because people are starting to. They just don't believe in the meaning, you know. And I get it for Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but at the same time, people. This is where I differ. You ain't gotta believe in this stuff, but it is an opportunity to come together. You know what I'm saying? And anytime, because all our schedules conflict until these days. We have an opportunity to come together, and it's not difficult for us to come together. We should come together. You know what I'm saying? And celebrate
I agree with
family.
That.
So even if you think the Indians got done wrong or the Native Americans got done wrong, they did. But you know, forget it. You know, let's come together.
Yeah, but who's to say it still has to be about that? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it literally says Thanksgiving. Like it's the day to be thankful for what I have going on around me, my harvest, right? So the idea of it is that harvest time and celebrating, commemorating your harvest, which is your family, your loved ones, the things that you've been able to do and put together. And I know there's some who aren't doing so hot in life and, you know, feel like they ain't got much to be thankful for, but everybody has something to be thankful for, even if it's minute. But so that's the important of the holiday, is to like really dig into it and figure out what can you be thankful, at least for that one day. What can I be thankful for? You know what I'm saying? Just that one day. Let me figure out what I can be, even if I'm not doing what I feel like I need to be doing or should be doing or where I want to be or what I could be. And I have some negative things happen in life, that can be your moment personally, just to stop and say, okay, what can I be thankful for? And that can be a shift for a lot of people. Just when you in a rut, we've all been in ruts. We ain't always been hot, you know what I'm saying, hot shots and getting to it and getting after it. And for us to just take a moment to stop and pause, that can be a trajectory change for a lot of people. Even in those moments, just to be grateful, thankful, and then also those who have an abundance, when we start giving back during those Thanksgiving times, you know, we help somebody else out. Like it's bigger than what people want to be woke about. You know what I mean? Like you got to get beyond the woke. And trust me, I was one of you know me. We've come up a long way together, and I've always believed in before the term was woke. Was being woke. You know what I mean? Like I was always there. You know what I mean? And I feel like we've gone too far on the woke. Woke is too much.
You know,
we've gone too far.
Too much because they commandeered woke and made it into something it ain't. You know, woke is something that hey, stay woke, brother. That used to be what it was. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes open, brother. You know what I'm saying? That was one of those things where that's what it used to communicate to one another. Yeah, you know, but now it means something totally different from a message from one brother to another. You know what I'm saying? It's
to challenge everything, and one times one can't be one no more. I'm so woke that math don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Math don't make sense no more. It's a conspiracy thing now. You know what I'm saying? And it's to challenge everything and push back on everything. When you should do it, but there's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can quietly push back in your own head without having to make a big stink about challenging everything. You know what I mean? Like, because when I say that you should challenge everything, you should question everything. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
At the same time, I'm just saying be an independent thinker, but don't be a smart dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like when you just overthinking stuff and making stuff complicated that actually makes sense. And to one of your points that you said about having something to be grateful of and thankful for, we all do. That's people's egos getting in the way when you get to the point where you feel like you don't have nothing to be grateful for. Because at the end of the day, we all comparing ourselves to one another. And that's the only reason you'll ever really get down on yourself. It's because you comparing yourself to other people, not realizing that other people got their own struggles. And we're all, no matter who you are in life, we're all in the same position where somebody's ahead of you and somebody's behind you. And when you never lose track of that, you're able to be comfortable in your position in life. Because you're always going to be ahead of somebody, always behind somebody. You know?
Yeah, somebody somewhere is going to be worse off than you. And that's not to say, don't, or not to feel bad on your position. Yeah, if you're not comfortable where you at, like even me, like I still feel like where I am in life, I still want more. I still want to progress even higher. But it don't mean that, hey, I got to look at it like my life is the worst thing in the world. But I still do want to strive for better. Yeah. So I still want to strive for better.
Where you're at in order to get more.
You got to be at peace at where you're at, and I think that's where a lot of young folk miss, especially now with the world being so wide and being able to see and being able to compare everything in the whole world now. Like I can compare what's going on with somebody in Dubai who got $500 billion. And I'm looking at my life like, man, I only got so much money in the bank. He got $5 billion. And dang, my life's trash. When these kids looking at, well, this person got this and they only 22 and I'm 22. Well, I ain't got that.
But this is the thing. Ain't none of that real. That's all in your head. Even if you read somebody's net worth on the internet, most of them say that stuff ain't real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's all in your head. I can look at somebody worth $1 billion, but they don't have $1 billion in cash. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that might mean they have more than I have. But even then, that's you making up the story in your head, filling in the blanks. You know what I'm saying? So the same way that you can create this reality for how somebody else is living, you can create something else to make you feel more comfortable with yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like people make stories that make themselves feel less than. Write the story to build yourself up and give yourself confidence to push and proceed to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, instead of writing the story to depress yourself and feel unworthy, like, which is what
man. The mind is a powerful tool and is the best atmosphere setter. Whatever your outlook is whatever your atmosphere is. You can shift your atmosphere by shifting your mind. You can look at your four walls and feel like it's prison, or you can look at your four walls and feel like it's heaven. However, your outlook on your four walls can be whatever it is. Now, who's to say?
Environment between those two is conducive to growth? Feeling like you in a prison or feeling like you in heaven? What do you think you're going to get more work done in? Which environment? You know what I'm saying? Which environment are you going to flourish more in? The positive mindset, saying I'm in heaven, then you feel productive to go out here and you feel energetic to go out and produce. You know what I'm saying? Versus I'm in hell, woe is me. And then you don't get nothing done and you just stay in hell. Woe is you.
Yeah. Woe is you. But I mean, like, and then also like when you have that same mindset, you can go back and say, okay, now that I feel like this is great where I'm at. And you can be more receptive to what somebody else has who has greater, and then allow that to help you strive towards that greater. What happens to a lot of people that I've seen with personal relationships is when they see you doing so great and they don't have as great, they get down and start garnering a little bit of hate and garnering resentment because now they're looking at it instead of with a positive mindset, they look at it with a negative mindset. Well, I don't have this. I hate that he got that. And I'm not doing this. And I hate that they're doing that. Like anytime, especially when it comes to watching somebody get promoted in my field, right, in the military. And especially when I was one rank and I was so close to the next rank. And I'm seeing all these people get promoted. But my mindset was always to cheer them on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit back, and I've seen other people who were side by side with me in the same boat and watch them fizzle out, end up getting booted out the military because they had the wrong mindset. So they sitting there getting mad and hating at this person for progressing and this and that. Well, I've been here and doing this, and he got promoted so fast, and this happened and that, blah, 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 blah. And like, just cheer for them. Just cheer. You cheering for them will honestly help yourself out with how you end up progressing. Because your positive mindset and looking at them and linking at their progression is going to help you propel forward towards that progression. And a lot of people cut themselves off because they can't cheer for the next man.
Yeah. And you know what else it is that's good about cheering for the next person? Is because what do most people tell you? Most people tell you, if you look at your circle, I'll show you who you are. So if you got people in your circle and around you that you're surrounding yourself with that's winning around you, that's a good sign for you. Just because you ain't got your dub yet don't mean nothing. Like, it's coming.
It's coming around. It's coming around. It's y'all in that circle. Guess what? It's coming around the circle. It's coming around the circle.
Winners. I'm eventually going to
Duck Goose. Duck Goose. That success is playing Duck Goose with you. He's waiting to be Goose.
Because guess what? You're doing the same thing if you surrounding yourself with losers. If you surrounding yourself with criminals and losers, you waiting on your turn before you eventually get locked up or hemmed up for doing something you ain't got no business doing. Like, so, you know, cheer for your people. Like, I'm happy to see people do something good around me because it's like, I'm around the right people right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and eventually, some opportunity, your network is what's going to look out for you. And if these are the people in your network are winning, it's your turn soon. Just stay patient.
Yeah, your turn's going to come. You will win eventually. You know, and then a lot of times I like to look at is when your win comes, that's when your win was meant for you. Like that win might not have been meant for you 6 months ago, a year ago.
Right.
You might not have been ready to receive that win that was going to be the most conducive for that win to flourish in you.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
It's everything.
It is everything. Speaking of timing,
hey, brother.
We at the halfway point, man.
It's time for that.
How you feeling about your? Yeah. How you feeling about that Trinidad now?
I feel good about it, man. It's got a lovely little sweet aroma. You know what I'm saying? We talk about loving aromas these days. The aroma is nice and sweet coming off of this thing. Once again, the dark chocolate is the prominent thing that I'm picking up on. It does have a little bit of spice, but it's really only noticeable on the retro hell for me. I am picking up on some cedar within this, and it's got an oiliness on it also, but it's done well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm cool right now, man. Shout out to Trinidad, and big shout out to you, AJ, because I know the pillars. Sprinkle a little bit of that, sprinkle a little bit of this. I know the pillar did his magic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to AJ Fernandez also. But yeah, so far so good with this Trinidad.
Nice.
Espirtu series number 3, which also lets you know that if they dropped the third one, that means this series was going pretty well for them to go revisit it 2 more times. You know what I'm saying? So I might have to go dip back and see what number 1 and number 2 is about also.
Okay.
I'm guessing, that, you know, you don't get a trilogy without the first 2 movies being a hit. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. So this Joya right here, man. You mentioned aroma. I'm not getting the best aroma from it. So that's I hate that you said that, because that was one of the things I thought about in the very beginning when I got lit. Like, it's aroma hitting. I check for that. I start checking for that like immediately now. Like, how's this aroma hitting? It's not hitting me like yours is. So I'm a little salty. But guess what? I'm gonna cheer you on. But it got a nice little subtle brown sugar walnut thing going on, which is something unique that I don't really get from cigars. That's interesting. Like a brown sugary walnut type of deal that I'm feeling, with a hint of spice that just comes like just on the back of the palate. It's kind of telling everything. So it's nice right now.
Cookies, my boy.
Gingerbread cookies.
Yeah,
it's Christmas time. Gingerbread cookies.
It's Christmas time. You got the Christmas stick.
Yeah, it's like a brown sugar walnut. Nice little spice. None too flashy, none too fancy. Nice and subtle, but not the greatest aroma right now. So we'll see what happens. Like, we can keep it. We'll let it burn. We got some time. We're gonna let it burn. We at the tail end of the first third, so we get into it.
Man, I'm still in the first third, man. I ain't even coming out of that no time soon. But
hey, AJ burns slow. Slow. Anything I've ever had from AJ, it burns slow. They know how to pack them.
Yeah, most definitely.
Hey, check this out. So, I got something that's grinding my gears. A little bit of sports talk. It's grinding my gears, right? So,
is it being 9-4?
Say what?
Is it being 9-4?
What's 9?
The Lions, the Detroit Lions. Is that what it is?
I caught on what you were talking about. Yeah, we caught that L to Chicago. All right, look. We still leading the division. Okay, we still got that playoff spot on lock. We all right. But now we going in the basketball. We need to talk about baseball for a second. Oh, buddy, who got that big contract? Shout out to maybe baseball's on the return. That contract was a monster. What, $700 million?
$700 million contract being handed out in baseball right now. For those of y'all that don't know, I don't remember my man's name.
I don't remember his name either.
Say it anyway. But
his name is $700 million right now. That's all I know.
That's his name. That's all you call him. Hey, 700. That's what you call him when you see him, man. But it's over the course of 10 years, but that's still a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you tell me I can make 700, if I'm making $700 million over 10 years, lock me in. I've done 10 years for less.
Yeah.
So hey, look, whatever. 700, let's go. Let's get to it. But now we talking about some basketball, man. So we had some talk, or you hear talks about 80s ball, 90s ball. It was hard nose. You know, wasn't no freebies. And if somebody was coming for you, you knew they was coming for you. It was what it was, right? They gonna lay the wood on you. You go down to that paint, you're gonna feel something. You're gonna think twice about coming in, right?
Right.
Now fast forward into the 2010s and the 2020. You know, we talk about basketball's got a little soft. But we got a menace out there. And that menace name is Draymond Green, right?
Yeah.
He's a menace. He's a menace on the court, right?
Broad Street bully.
So my thing is this, and I've seen talks about can Draymond play in the 90s? Could he? Is he a 90s player? Like his style of play? Like, yeah, that ain't the 90s, bro. That ain't the 80s. What Draymond Green does on the court, honestly, if he was playing in them times, they would got him up out of there. My man would be with his tail between his legs. I ain't messing with nobody down here. I'm good on it. I don't feel like he would be able to pull off the same things that he pulled off now. I don't like people likening his style of play to hard-nosed 80s, 90s ball. To me, it's not. You know, to me, it's not even crafty, tough play. To me, it's just dirty play with no reason, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like you had some players who they might have threw a nice little even like Lambeer. Lambeer, hey, look. So the difference between the Lambeer and the Draymond, and this is not me just. Okay.
I can't wait to hear this.
Holding down my Pistons players, right?
Okay.
But Lambeer ain't gonna make up a scenario just to get a cheap shot swing on you, right? You know what I'm saying? He's not. That wasn't his thing. You come to the lane, I'ma lay an arm on you, and I'm gonna make sure you come down hard. That was Lambeer. Yeah. Lambeer might, you know what I'm saying, put a forearm on you a little harder than normal. You know, he might do one of those types of fouls. It was a foul. Like you went on the other side of the court, not even involved in the play, and just get swung on, right? And this is not a Chris Childs, Kobe Bryant, we about to box square up type of deal. That's you know what I'm saying, the mutual chippiness. All right, you talking, I'm talking, we about to go at it, we about to fight. Not just, I'm going to throw a leg up and kick you between the legs. I'm going to just turn around and throw a swing. It's not even a Ron Artest. I come off with a dunk and I'm celebrating, throw a little elbow. I didn't know you was over there type of deal, right? It was not even one of those things.
Who did he hit again? Who was it?
Oh, who was it? I can't remember who it was. But that was a nasty elbow.
Get away from me. Get away from me, man.
Yeah. You caught him with a nice little elbow, right? Like, so that was like, it's not even in that vein. It's not even a Bruce Bowen throw a leg out and make you want to come down on a, you know what I'm saying?
Now, I know who it is. It's a Chris Paul thing is who it is. Chris Paul was a little sneaky joker like that too.
He was. Chris Paul was one of them. Chris Paul was definitely one of them.
Yeah, dirty self.
But the difference between, and people hate Chris Paul for it, right? And Chris Paul has come on a lot of fire for it. And the difference between the Draymond Green and the Chris Paul is Draymond Green just got rings to go along with his, and Chris Paul don't. So it's kind of been like overshadowed, and all right, we'll let Draymond get a pass for that. Like, it's not even Dennis Rodman. I'm just trying to get under your skin type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Rodman was the way he was getting tangled up with you on purpose. Like, I'm just getting tangled up with you. We cross legs and stuff like that. Like, Draymond just out of control, man.
Hey, bro, you know who he elbowed?
Who he elbowed? Who was it?
He elbowed the beard, James Harden.
For real?
Even better.
Was it?
Even better.
I didn't even realize that was James Harden.
It was James Harden. I just looked it up and I saw Harden doing that, and I was so happy to see it.
Like, yeah, it James Harden.
Happy.
Only person that would have been better would have been Scottie Pippen.
That's it, man. I'm sorry, man. Oh, that made my day. I'm sorry to interrupt your soliloquy, man. I'm sorry, man. That made me happy. Man, James Harden, man, that guy. I can't stand watching this game. That made me happy. Get out of here. Okay, man. I'm sorry. Continue with your point, man.
Nah, that was good. But like, it's just different, man. It's just different. We're not talking about Xavier Daniel. We ain't talking about Vernon Maxwell. We ain't talking about Ron Artest, Ben Wallace, Oakley, Anthony Mason. Draymond Green versus any one of them guys. He wouldn't be standing. Like, he would not be out there doing what he's doing today if those guys were in the league getting to it.
All right, so check your phone real quick, and I'll touch on what I think of that, man. I do think that he could have played in the 90s, but I think that he would have definitely been humble.
He would have been humble
early on. Like, you say what? Oh snap! You see? Oh, now you see his face. His stupid beard. That's what he gets.
When the elbow was fit. Oh boy.
He's gonna take his head.
Oh, for the folks at home.
There you go. Wow.
We gotta add clips. We gotta add clips to the show. There we go.
Show, man. Now you see that right there. Now, hey man, I'm just saying, man. Guys, like, he'd have got humbled, bro. Like, cause he really got humbled quick. Bully ball stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of that bully ball, man, don't work when you get pushed back. You know what I'm saying? Like, bullies only can bully when they not getting stood up to, and nobody stands up. To. Like I said to you when we kind of talked about this briefly before, it's like, hey, look, man, he'd have had to fight. Mm-hmm. He could have played then during that time, but all this, I'm just chumping people off with no reaction to it. He'd have had to see some people on that court, and you know what? Change things.
That's the crazy thing. Is through every situation I can think of in my head right now, and I watched a few clips earlier this week. There's never been any consequence for anything that he's done. Not talking about from the league or anything. I'm talking about from the individuals that he violated.
Or their team.
He's never, or the team. Even when he
was choking my man in the back, nobody
never got touched.
Choke him. They just like get him off of him. What you mean, bro? Like, what part of the world is that? You know what I'm saying? What cloth are you? Who raised you kids? Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody jump on this dude back to choke him back? You just let him choke your teammate? Y'all just like separate him. Man, ADT would have been upside his head, bro. Like,
we riding.
Yeah,
we riding.
Man, like, it's I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no ramification.
Everybody being buddies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everybody buddies in the league today. Back in the day, you was only pals with your team, and even
your team.
Even hey, look, man, when New York and Charles Oakley weren't gonna let MJ just go off on John Starks, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was pals,
game time. It's game time. We ain't friends right now.
We're not.
We gonna play around the golf. We'll play around the golf after the game. We ain't friends right now.
Yeah. And he gets away with this stuff, man, in this friendly league where everybody's friends that ain't on teams and stuff, and don't nobody want to lay no hands on them, and they really ain't got their teammates back like that. But he'd have had to catch some hands, and a lot of that stuff would have got corrected early on because bullies ain't really trying to get hit back. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
After a few guys stepped to him and let it be known, hey, you ain't getting that off here, he'd have stopped. He'd have chilled out.
Even the teammates. Like I seen a few clips of him going off on Kevin Durant.
Everybody take
you think, you know what I'm saying? And we seen Jordan Poole in practice.
Everybody taking it. But Jordan ain't had no choice. Jordan didn't take it, but Jordan didn't take it when he received either. So
but here's the thing though. Like even when MJ hauled off on Steve Kerr was ready to go in. You know what I'm saying? It's like none of these ballers right now in this climate, in this generation, this day and age, are ready to get it in. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, speaking
like,
of MJ,
I see
is the golden child of the league. You know how many people tried to put hands on Mike during his time? He was the golden child. And Mike was a MF. Mike wasn't no joke. Mike was mean and talking mess and everything. People stood up to Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Doggone, like Reggie was fighting back.
Reggie was ready. Yeah,
table. Reggie was always ready to go with him. Like, nobody was backing down from him like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to punk everybody, and that's not to say like Mike want nobody not to be scared of, but it's just to say people stood their ground, and Mike was somebody to be afraid of, and they still stood their ground to him, like. Because it was a lot more guys like that. That was the climate. That was the energy around the league at the time, man. And now everybody just, I don't want no problems.
I'm just saying, like in the 90s, 80s, early 2000s, the actions of Draymond Green would have not gotten to this point, wouldn't it? He would have been checked a long time ago.
We already know the guys in the 80s was getting down like that. There's no need to even go through the names. And then we know the guys in the 90s was getting down. But you can even go to the 2000s. I can't see him getting that off on T-Mac, on Kobe, on AI. Like, none of them guys was going to stand up and let him get that off on him without standing their ground to him. What top dudes was going to deal with that in the day? You think Tyrone Hill was going to deal with that?
KG.
KG definitely ain't dealing with that. Paul Pierce ain't dealing with that. Ben Robinson. I'm not. Is that he going? I mean Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace ain't gonna deal with that. Them guys. Wallace would have been throwing him across the daggone floor.
We got tossed. Steven Jackson.
He hit him with the Uncle Phil. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We got tossed.
Steven Jackson. The whole Pacers lineup, you know what they about. Like, it just won't gonna ride, bro. Won't nobody gonna let that fly back in them days, man. Like, in the 2000s was softer than the 90s, and the 90s was softer than the 80s. So, like, as you keep going further and further back, it's just gonna get harder on you. And that's not to say the 2000s was soft, but they were definitely the gateway to how we ended up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's doing this the whole time. So man, he couldn't have got that.
That's my only but that's not my only gripe, but that's one of my gripes with the way the game is being played. And I love the league and the NBA and always been a big fan, but I just hate seeing, you know what I'm saying? I hate seeing a certain thing in today's league that just makes it hard for me to really enjoy it to its fullest. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to be that guy who's always, in that nostalgia mindset. But it's like, even like with that, that wouldn't have flown back in the day.
Well, this is the thing that it goes to, man. Like, you've seen both sides of the fence. So it's people who only know their era and they get the feeling what they got from their era because they like, oh yeah, Draymond from that cloth, he like that. All y'all got to brag on, so that's why y'all bragging on him. Y'all don't have nothing to compare it to because y'all ain't got nothing but Draymond. But people just watch from the 80s up until now, and then they see Draymond, they like, they unimpressed by it because they like, I seen worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or even Elijah Wan would have got at him. Boy, come on.
Even Elijah Wan would have hit him with that right cross. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody, like, man, it just was different, man. You know,
boys was getting their face broken. Tom Jonathan.
That's him. Like, it's different, bro. Like,
boys getting their face broken back in the day.
Yeah,
but he got his face broke.
Yeah, man. So like, you know, it's cool that you sneaky and you dirty and stuff. You jump up and kick somebody on the balls on purpose. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It's easy to be tough when ain't nobody else tough. That's my viewpoint.
Yeah,
of it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
my whole idea, my whole that's just not that's not tough basketball. That's just your mind somewhere else, boy. Get it together.
Yeah, you know he getting old too, man. So eventually you're gonna have to back off of that. You know what I'm saying? So one of these young boys is gonna get a hold of you out here, boy. Eventually,
he only 30. He only 33. I mean, he look all about 50, but he only 33.
Yeah, but shoot, that's old in the league's terms. You know what I'm saying? Think about yourself at 33. And I know he's an athlete and all, but you know, man, like I just don't think your chin is what it was at 20 when in your 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you're right.
Eventually, somebody gonna stand their ground and they gonna put your lights out. They couldn't, and they wouldn't have been able to knock you out 10 years ago. Like, but they'll knock you out today. So like, you better slow down, bro. Like, your damn faculties ain't what they used to be, whether you realize it or not.
That reaction time ain't the same. You ain't dug as quick. You think Barkley would have took that? You think Shaq would have took that?
No.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't even take that.
Even y'all wouldn't have took it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would have took that stuff, man. It was just a lot. Baron Davis, ain't none of them guys. These dudes, thorough dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to say people soft now, but maybe they wouldn't take it outside on the streets, but they definitely take it in this league. They scared to lose what they got. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody standing their ground to them like that. I don't get how ain't nobody getting no hands put on them for some of this stuff. Take your suspension. You can afford it. You're getting millions of dollars.
Yeah. And even then, back in the day, it was hard to show up in some cities. You ain't acting right. It's hard to show up in the city. What we talking? Yeah. Anyway, off my soapbox. I'm just ready to see some. I'm ready for the league to get back to being what it used to be. In-season tournaments. We letting off champagne for winning in-season tournaments. Somebody's gonna call LeBron the GOAT because he got more in-season tournaments than MJ. But
you know, somebody asked
that ain't
me
gonna
that
do it.
Last week. They say now that Bron got a in-season tournament championship, do you think they're gonna include that in his, you know, his statistics for why he's the greatest?
Somebody
they will.
Somebody will.
They're gonna be like, he's the GOAT because he got the first in-season tournament champion. That's what GOATs do. Like,
and then let him win a championship this year. Oh, he won 2 championships in 1 year. Who else has won 2 championships in 1 year? Bron did.
Man, I'm gonna say this, man. Let me sound like a Bron hater for a second. Bron get the most credit for statistics that I don't care about that I've ever heard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why is his minutes played always coming up now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know he's older and we want to keep emphasizing he's old, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why is everything based around minutes played and all these stats of efficiency that I don't ever cared about? Like, man,
it means
the big 5 statistics, man. Your defensive statistics, your rebounds, and your scoring. You know, your offensive, your defensive statistics.
Maybe a field goal percentage.
Yeah, your field goal percentage is cool. I'll look at it. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hold it against you. Like, you know, people hold a lot of weight on that now, and we never cared about it. I didn't care how many shots Kobe took to get to 80 points. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care.
Just give me the 80. Just give me the 80.
Give me the 80, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a context to how you do it also. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. It's all these little statistics to inflate someone's position in the league to make them look more credible. Oh, they did this more effectively or this more efficiently. That's why it was more impressive. And it's like, nah, bro, I watched it with my own 2 eyes. I just am impressed by what I'm impressed by. You can tell me the stats afterwards, but I watched the flow of the game, and this was more impressive.
It's the eye test is the biggest determination for me.
Everything. Yeah.
It's the biggest determination for me. You know, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take a swipe at somebody and you brush their nose and they go flop on the floor and I call you the GOAT. I just can't do it. I can't do it. When somebody swipe at you and you're holding your wrist like, then they show it from the other angle, the dude never even touched you. And you going down like, oh man.
Yeah, he got some serious flop. His flop compilation is something serious, bro.
It's nice, right? It's nice. It's impressive,
serious, man.
It's impressive.
It's impressive. I'm very impressed by it, man. And he's the biggest thing on the floor doing all that doggone flopping. And then he acts so good, he'll go to the free throw line still holding himself, like, you know, and then miss the free throw and then be like, oh, my wrist from when I got hit on the wrist. And nobody ever landed. Nobody ever made contact with you. You flop midair in the shot. Like, I ain't even hit you, bro. Why you flop on a layup? You should have just went strong. You 6'9", bro, and 240 some pounds. Just truck him like you always do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't be my GOAT. I'm sorry, you can't be. Not for that. Anyway, that wasn't the point of the conversation. Didn't want to get into a LeBron GOAT, not GOAT, whatever. I can do that all day. But yeah.
All right, man. What's the final thoughts on the cigars, man? The cigars, man. We did everything else. Let's go back to the cigars and close out.
I'm gonna close out with mine first because I'm more interested in hearing what your Trinidad experience, the full experience that you've gotten over the course of maybe almost an hour, 50 minutes or so into a smoke. So my Joya de Nicaragua, silver. Call this the Christmas stick because I'm like, y'all see that band? See if y'all can see that band good. It's a nice festive looking band. I might smoke this every Christmas season. But yeah, it's stuck with that nice little. Actually, even got more intense. I don't know if it's what I'm pairing my cigar with, my drink. But it really feels like that brown sugar walnut really came into prominence as we got into that second, third. A little more earthiness and more nuttiness kind of settled in, of course, with that walnut, but that earthiness, oak, kind of tailored at the bottom of it to kind of give it that base. So it kind of like went up and then landed on a nice little earthy oak base, which was nice, a nice bed for all the flavors of the profile that I got initially to kind of land on. Have a nice little backdrop to it. The spice died out, so no real spice. Just maybe a hint, maybe just a hint of spice, but definitely dialed back a little bit. Overall, a really good smoke. I liked it. It's definitely not a go-to, but I can see myself smoking this again. Definitely, if I see it, I'll have some fondness to Joya whenever I see Joya in the humidor. So it did achieve that to say, okay, let's pay more attention to Joya. But overall, I'm not gonna give it a 4. I realize I've been I might be leaning on cigars lately. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna say with this one's a 3.9. 3.9.
Okay.
It's a good smoke. Okay. Solid smoke. Good flavors.
All right. So for me, at this point, and once again, there's a context to our scores. Our scores is always to this point, like you said. And most of the time, we don't even get halfway through with the stick. So we're really just judging the first part of our smoking experience. Mm-hmm. But from this, we go 1 to 5 on our scores. This Trinidad Espirtu series number 3, I'm starting to enter my second, third. And like I mentioned earlier, I was having more of a dark chocolate was the prominent flavor that I was noticing. On this now, we're starting to transition more into like a cedar. Some of the oiliness is there, but it's still dialed back. The dark chocolate is still there, but now we're starting to dial back. Cedar's coming to the forefront, and some leather is also coming more out of the stick. I'm starting to pick up on that, but I'm still having those same notes also within it. Some of the spice that I said I was picking up on the retro hair, I'm starting to be able to pick up on the actual just regular draw. And I've really enjoyed the stick, man. I'm still enjoying this change that I'm going through because it's still got the things that I loved about it early on, but now it's starting to introduce some different notes for me. And I'm enjoying those also because they've been done very well. So as of now, I'm going to give this Trinidad a 4.3. Give it a 4.3. And like you said, yes, we have maybe we have been lenient with some of the scoring, you know what I'm saying? But I feel it's fair. It's a fair assessment of the stickers.
Man. So. Yeah. That's good. That's good. So I mean, honestly, and I kind of feel bad for some cigars we're gonna smoke coming up in the future. Cause I'm gonna be real tough on some cigars. I don't know why. But going back and reviewing some of the ratings, and not saying those ratings were wrong, because it definitely hit me in wherever I rated it. That's where it hit me in the moment. But I'm gonna start really digging into these cigars and really seeing, hey, because I want to keep that. I want to keep that 4 spot coveted 4. I want to keep that 4 spot a coveted 4. If you get a 4, anything 4.0 and up, I want you to earn that 4. So. Any cigar that we smoking from here on out, trust me, you're getting a real deal rating on it.
Okay. So 75 forward. Episode 75 forward. We're gonna tighten our belts a little bit here to make
tighten it up.
Now, before we close out, go ahead and drop a name. Tell it. Tell the truth on why you saying what you're saying right now, because I know why you saying what you're saying. We ain't discussed it. But go ahead. Put a name on it before we go.
So and this is not
our boy. It's our boy.
It's a great stick. It's the Ligas, Drew Estate Liga providers. I think it was a T52. I was smoking on episode a while back. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, I gave it a 5.0. What I give it? A 4.9? What I give it?
You gave it a 5, bro.
I gave it a 5.
And you see, I wiped that from my memory. I forgot you gave out a 5. I was like, you gave out a 5 before. Like,
I gave out a 5. And to give something a 5, you know what I'm saying? So that's why now when we go forward, if I ever do give a 5, and I think we were a little early in the episodes, and it kind of made me want to go back and look and say, okay, if I ever give a 5 ever again, or if I give a 4.9, a 4.8, 4.7, anything above a 4.5, you got to be hitting on all cylinders. You got to be almost perfect to get anything 4.7 and up. You know what I mean? So
I ain't mad that Placencia got a 4.7.
Yeah.
I'm mad at that.
So if I had to go back and I had to, so this is why I want to tighten up. Because if I go back and I smoke a Placencia and I smoke a T52 and I say, which one do I like better? I'm going to say Placencia. I'm taking Placencia 10 times out of 10. I am. So how can I rate that T52 a 5 and Placencia a 4.7? And I'm taking Placencia 10 times out of 10 over that T52. So we go tighten up. We're going to tighten the belt. And whatever these ratings get, we are giving the real deal Holyfield. It is legit that rating. I want to make sure I'm being on point, because we ain't throwing out no high ratings, and because we see the ratings, you saying that's a 93 rated cigar, and we're like, there ain't no way this is a 93 rated. It's a 95 rated. There ain't no way this is a 95.
Yeah.
So we want y'all to get the real deal from here, from us. To say, yeah. We need to be the staple.
There's so many 93s and 94s, and I'm like, I don't see how you gave that a 93, 94. You were being lenient. Probably threw a favor. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure aficionado, the Bible of cigar magazines ain't above having a relationship that they need to, water and make sure that they don't mess up the relationship, don't burn this bridge. Let me just hook them up real quick.
Yeah, give me 93, 90.
We ain't got them relationships here, so you know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
ain't nobody paying us right now.
Yeah, when they start paying us, we'll start letting y'all know it's sponsored, bro. Ignore this rating.
Yeah,
but until today,
so we need that real deal Vernon's official ratings for these cigars, and let y'all know what is what out here with how we feel about them. Ain't no more freebies. Well, I ain't say no more freebies. We never intend to give any freebies, but we're paying close attention now. We're paying close attention.
Try not to be a prisoner of the moment is what he's saying. We're going to try not to be.
Because that can happen. That can definitely happen.
I might be with this Trinidad right now. You know what I'm saying? But moving beyond today, we'll see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But That's 75, man. That's the Vernon's episode. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We out.
Cigars up.